Hi, welcome back. Going back into the fitness realms today, and one of the main reasons people stop on their fitness journey when they're going to the gym for the first couple of weeks is due to DOMS, or otherwise called delayed onset muscle soreness. So this is when you go to the gym and you really make a big effort, normally when you're first starting out, but it can happen at other times as well. And then 1 or 2 days later, you are in what feels like agony. This is very, very common with the legs. You know, if you have a heavy leg session, you'll find you're struggling to walk up and down the stairs, you're struggling to get in and out of chairs, and this is what's known as delayed onset muscle soreness. Now, it's not particularly dangerous, but it's very, very uncomfortable. I say not particularly because there's a differentiation between delayed onset muscle soreness, which is harmless pretty much, and then actually pulling a muscle, straining something, you know, pulling a tendon, breaking something maybe. So it's kind of difficult for new people to differentiate those types of pain. So it's important, if you do injure yourself at the gym, you go and get it checked out first. But for delayed onset muscle soreness, there's many things that people try, and most of them I've tried and they've been pretty ineffective. Until that is, these guys, Bob and Brad, sent me a product that I've not tried before. I think there's a few of these things on the market, but this one I was especially impressed with. So we're just going to go through and have a quick look today. So it comes in a nice box like so. It's kind of a carbon fibre effect. It's like a semi-hard case. Zip round the side, but pretty high quality. And then if we open it up, we can see inside we have a massage gun and a variety of heads. Now this is USB powered, so it charges up on the bottom there, charges up pretty rapid. I plugged it in for about half an hour, 45 minutes, and it was fully charged. Very heavy. You know, it certainly feels like a quality device. It's got a sort of rubberized texture to it, and then a heavy duty polymer, and it what looks like a metal sleeve in there, which these things plug into. Now it comes with a variety of different attachments. I'll take you through each one. And we've got this ball-headed type. They just push straight in like so. And then on the back here, very simple to operate. You just hold down the power button and you can see straight away this thing starts moving. On the camera it may look like it's moving slow just because of the speed of the film, but to give you an idea, so it's actually vibrating pretty rapidly, and then you can use this. And you can see how rapidly that's vibrating on the arm there to work over muscle tissue. Now that is only on speed 1, and that ball is like a foam headed piece. We can actually turn it up to, I think, speed 5. You can see the LEDs on the back there. So that is now on the highest speed. You probably can't even see it at all, but it actually feels really strange, but you can definitely work out some knots in muscle with this. Now, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a massage therapist. I don't know how safe or unsafe it is to massage yourself, but I've been massaging my quads with this. I've been doing my shoulders, and it really helped. I've also been doing triceps, mostly quads, I've got to say. You know, after a squat session, the next day I get really tight quads, and a couple of minutes working them over with this, it's absolutely awesome. I generally use this ball-headed one because you can kind of work it in pretty nicely. It does the larger muscle groups, and it's also made of quite a soft material, so it's hard enough to do the business, but it's not so hard that you're going to accidentally injure yourself. So if we pull that one out, we then have the next one here, which is this kind of plug shaped adapter, and this is actually got a sort of springy part to it. You can see those two lines there where you've got kind of air gap in the middle. That just means it gives you a little bit of a gentler massage, probably a little bit gentler than the ball attachment. Yeah, a much gentler feeling on that. You can press quite hard on it. It's not getting anywhere near as deep, but there's going to be some muscle groups where you don't want to be highly uncomfortable. You know, maybe if you've had a really hard quad workout, then you're going to need it a bit gentler. You can't just sort of go straight in and go for a really deep tissue with one of these things, because it would be unbearable. So that's probably a good place for people to start if they've got delayed onset muscle soreness. And I've got to say, you know, it really does do a good job. I feel absolutely worn out once I've done a session with this on quads, you know, when they're really tight, and shoulders, or if you've got a partner and you get them to do it for you, which is even better, then you do feel absolutely relaxed afterwards. You know, once I've used this, I get a really good sleep, and when I wake up the next day, I'm a lot less sore than I would normally be. So I thoroughly recommend this thing. Now, this is a kind of somewhat evil attachment. It looks slightly perverse as well. For those of you that are kind of having perverse thoughts about these things, they are way too powerful for any of that kind of business. I don't know anyone who would get any sort of thrill in that dimension with one of these. If you did, you've got some serious issues, because these are, you know, these are really powerful guys. They're not that kind of stimulation. So this one here is for really working in to muscle tissue, and you can kind of get a smaller surface area. I haven't particularly found great use for this. Maybe if you had a sort of area that you really wanted to pinpoint, but for me, I actually find the ball attachment better. It's a bit more comfortable, and this one just feels a little bit too small on the surface area for my liking. And like I say, maybe if you had a real knot that you had to work into, but it's very hard as well. This is just a straight polymer attachment, so quite hard, and if you hit yourself in the wrong place with that, you do know about it. Then we have another hard polymer one there. Again, it's sort of a plug shape, so it mimics the form factor of the other one. It hasn't got any give to it at all. It's completely hard. And you can feel how much harder that is there. Again, quite a wide surface area, so it's not particularly unpleasant, but like I say, a lot harder than the other option. It's good to have a number of different tools that you can stick on there, because, you know, depending on which muscle you've got issues with, and how much pain you're in, or how sort of deep you need the massage, all these things are going to give you those different options. Last but not least, these other ones just push in. This one actually has a little notch on it, and you can see on here there's a little notch down there, so that ensures that it can't spin. This one would be more suited to maybe running up the shoulders, where maybe you've got a bone in the center and you want to hit muscle tissue either side of that. It's in this U shape here. and I have used this one quite a lot. It's a hard polymer again, but it has been quite useful for kind of working up and past the bony areas into the sort of the neck area there. I get a lot of tightness across shoulders and in the sort of lower neck. Again, I'm not a doctor, so I can't advise you how to use this thing. I use it in a way that it makes me feel a lot more relaxed. It makes my muscles relax and I get a really good night's sleep. So all I can suggest is that if people want to try these, they use them and use their sort of the way they feel as a guide. If it starts to hurt you, obviously that's not a good thing, and this isn't the kind of device that you would want to use on a damaged area. You know, if you've ripped a muscle, broken a bone, anything like that, the last thing you want to do is start massaging it, rubbing it. You just need to go and get medical assistance. If you're genuinely achy from just a bit of overwork at the gym, then something like this could help you out like it has helped me out. Last but not least, it comes with a couple of spare sleeves. Those rubber sleeves fit on these devices and just create a bit of friction. You can see the sleeve just on there, and they actually create enough friction that when you push it on, that device doesn't fly off. The rubber just grips into the metal sleeve. Look, as you push it in, you can see the rubber grip in there. Obviously they might wear over time, which is why they've given you a couple of spares. I've been using this on and off now for about a month and a half. I wanted to give it a fair go and to make sure it wasn't something that was just going to fail, because it does get put to use. You know, it's doing quite a bit of hard work, and if it was a poorly made device, I'm pretty sure something would have gone wrong with it by now. It's really, really substantial. You know, it puts out a lot of power, and the higher settings, it is pretty much unbearable. So I've probably used it from settings 1 to 3. I just cannot imagine in using it on like 4 and 5. It's too much for me, but there might be people out there that really, really like a seriously hard massage. If that's the case, this would definitely work for you. It's pretty well priced. I'll chuck a link up below. This was between about 50 and 60 pounds or dollars, depending on which region you were in. I think that is very reasonable given the quality of the manufacturer. I have seen other variants of these things. You find them dotted around Amazon, and you get a few random adverts for like the cheap knockoff ones that you see on Instagram and stuff. I personally wouldn't cheap out for something like this. Like I said, they're expected to do quite a bit of hard work. And also, if one of these pieces breaks while you're mid-massage, you could do yourself some serious damage. You don't want like sharp bits of plastic being shoved into your skin by something that does put out quite a bit of power. So this Bob and Brad one I thoroughly recommend. Like I say, I'll chuck a link down below. If you guys have any cure for DOMS, let me know what you do to get rid of it. If you guys end up getting one of these, or you've used one, or you've used something similar, let me know how you get on with that. If there's any doctors watching and you've got some tips for people to use or to not use these, do let us know in the comments. I'll be interested to hear about it. I've had a great deal of benefit from this. I hope you guys might have some benefit as well, because there's nothing worse than sitting around aching, and even more so, there's nothing worse than people skipping gym or just quitting gym completely because they're so fed up with having aching legs and arms, etc. Guys, thank you very much for watching. Check this out. I'll leave a link. Don't forget to subscribe. Take care. I'll see you all soon.